So I'm gonna do a quick explanation because people are like, "Yo, you're gonna use those for real?" Yeah, I'm actually gonna use these for real. You can go to the 55 if you want to and not have a bushing, but since it has like a little split groove where the bearings go, these are off flush bearings that I had there standard. Now you see how when I cut it, the disc that I'm using to cut is 1/16 and 1/16 over here. I mean 1/16, 1/16, but and then you got 1/16 on this side. So you lose 1/16 there when it closes up and 1/16 there from a perfect diameter that it comes from factory. Now what's happening is it's sealing well, everything, but I was leaving this cage a little bit bigger. So I have to get two of them because remember I'm not getting on split cage to be able to make one. Why is because I have to cut it a little bit bigger. You see where the lines are? I have to cut it a little bit bigger to be able so I can not get that gap from the cutting directly and then grind it down a little bit. So and then I have where the lines are, it's evened out. And then the other side evened out. So to make one, you need two of them. Since it's four, that's not really a problem because you'll use 2, 4, 8. But I did this to try it out. I did put these little bearings back in there because they were supposed to go one on this and the other one. But since I cut the cage and this side went flush, that's the only issue that I had. But other than that, it still rolled like this and everything. But also the cage doesn't move around and it stays solid just like the rod bearing. You have to go to a bigger size and then grind it down to the exact size, half a moon, and then go to the other half a moon like that. But you have to use two. Basically, a since I don't have a pressure water jet pressure jet cutter, it's not gonna cut precise. So the disc that I'm using is 1/16 and 1/16. So if I cut halfway and I bring this part in and I bring that part in, what's gonna happen is what's gonna happen is that I'm gonna be missing 1/16 there and 1/16 there because of the thickness of the thing. Yeah, you're cutting all the way straight across and all the way straight across where the little corners like I did. Now, if you cut it a little bit bigger, you know what I mean? A little bit bigger, and then you could grind down to where you need. The only thing is that you need two bearings to make one because they don't make them split for this car. So I checked it out and it actually rolls really good. I got them from VXB. It's rolling really good on the crankshaft. Just that's what it is. I need 8 of them because I need to make two. Two I need to cut bigger. All of them are gonna get cut bigger and then just grind down to the exact measurement that it has. Like how they came when they first came, you just threw them in there and that's it. And if anything, you could give one bearing a little bit bigger or the other one, but on standard, it moved really good. As of like this, it still has the diameter because what gives the diameter is the bearing itself. Is the bearing itself. But the outer diameter has to fit with the standard size if you're doing 52. Now, if you want it tighter, I got 20s there, and it'll go tighter, but it scratched them yesterday like this. I took out the bearings and everything, and no scratch. I took out the roller bearings on top of the rod journal, and no scratch. So what you have to do, and I put a little bit of sort of like grease. Though the new crankshaft, if I want to, I could also use a split bronze bushings. But there's the one that I like. There's the one right here that does it for me. This one right here. I checked it yesterday. I rolled it and it spins like. They use it on Banshees. They've used it in Evinrude Johnson 300 horsepower. They've used it everything. And what it is gonna get lubricated. So it's gonna go. If you see that it's a little too loose, it can have side to side play. That's what I noticed yesterday. But it cannot have up and down play, and it's gonna help spin because remember the crankshaft is gonna spin inside that. And yesterday I did put a little bit of Vaseline on it so the bearing sticks, the needle bearing sticks. I wish it would have been the bigger one, but that's the one for this diameter and size. If not, you have to cut this and then it's going to make this weaker or switch up rods. And I have their spare of these rods, so I don't want to mess them up. But yeah, this is what what I'm trying to do is like this side. You see how they're both touching the cage instead of leaving that little gap there. So everything aligns and everything spins smoothly. And once it starts getting, I'm gonna put the loop. Remember, you can also replace or get it all the way to the back firewall. But since it has a little groove where the groove bearings go, I don't think it's gonna be rolling smooth than having them plain. Like for instance, you see some of these, like these. There's one side that's smooth. Well, no, that's how I got all of them because either way they're gonna clamp down to each other. Because if you get it with this right here, it might not like that little dent in there. You know, since it's spinning at high RPM, so you have to get them all like that so it rolls smooth. Because any little groove or any little, that's a weakness right there. Though it'll hold the lock in, but either way, since it's rolling, that's not gonna be a problem. And since the new crankshaft, it's all at standard diameter. I'm not trying to cut them. That's why I'm working with the diameter that I got here. Everything else is the same. The pistons, the length, everything. See, because I'm giving it the same exact factory diameter. Pero it's going to spin off of the 46, so it's going to spin quicker, rev quicker, everything. So that's what I'm doing. Basically filling in the gap from 47 millimeter to 52, which is 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 5 millimeters. Now you can use 2.5 and 2.5. These are 2.3 and 2.3, so you can always switch up the needle. But I'm trying to make the cage because I don't have nobody that doesn't split cage. They sell them to you completely. And now I had to custom cut it, but when I cut it, I noticed that I took out a little bit. So I figured out a different way. The only thing is that you need two to make one. Simple as that.